What's good, Scorpio? I'm Leonanicholeblack. This is a general reading, Scorpio's sun, moon, or rising. It is not for a specific time period, okay? It's not for this month or last month. I am focused on your soul growth. So if the concepts, themes, and ideas I share here, if they resonate with you, they are for you, beloved. And if they don't, I'm sure that you will be able to connect with another reader that can support you at this time. A couple of announcements. I have changed the date and it is our last Astro Mixer of the year. Okay, so 1st of November, my astrology themed games night back at the Curtin Hotel Shoreditch. This is the last one for the year, so if you haven't made it yet, or you know that you love it and you want to come, make sure you're there. Nicoleblack.com/shop. There are some early bird tickets available, so you'll be able to grab those. Also, I have been making changes, as I always am as a mutable sign, to be honest, and as a Virgo who loves to refine. I've made some changes to the way that I'm reading. What's going to be happening now is that the first 10 minutes of this reading is going to be freely available to you on YouTube or on IGTV. After that, the next 20 to 10 minutes of the reading will be available on my website, nicoleblack.com/extended for £5.55. Okay, so if it's resonating with you, you'll be able to follow on there and continue the concepts, themes, and ideas, get the healing and the learning. If you do go to Nicole Black Extended, you'll also be able to get a free message on your love and on your money very specifically. It's a written message that I just have there for you. So make sure you are going over to that page and engaging with that content, okay? Because it's there. I am doing it for you. I love you. Let's get into your reading. The basis, really, it's really interesting because the basis of the reading is the King of Pentacles. This to me is very often Taurus energy, and Taurus is the opposite sign for you, which is showing you out of your comfort zone, being stretched into pulling on the other polarity. It seems like the material realm, the finances, has been a particular concern, or not necessarily concern, but focus for you, whether that is work, whether that is investment, whether that is debt, whether that is providing for others. You have had a period of time where it has been quite a hustle, I feel, where you've had to really make all your choices based on what is of financial benefit. That's what it feels like to me. I feel like the source that you've been using to generate your abundance and your financial well-being, your creativity, is waning with the sun in reverse here. So you're running out of strength, running out of energy here. I don't think that this particular King of Pentacles that you've been being is sustainable for much longer. So there is a kind of need. It's really natural because life happens in cycles, because you do have the sun reversed here but upright here. And it made me think of the sun rising and setting and how we mark off day and night. And I feel like you've been in a day cycle where you've had to be kind of grinding, pushing, working, getting things done. And the night cycle is already here. I think it's already upon you. You may be still trying to push yourself, but actually you're quite tired because of that, because you're really actually in your rest cycle. And the rest cycle is really important for you, Scorpio, because you are the shadow, the underworld. That kind of going away is necessary. You're similar to Virgo in that respect, in that you are as much a hermit as Virgo is. You just use that period for different purposes. You do that for different reasons, but you also need that space, that alone time, and I think you're not getting it. So the foundation, the basis of the reading is how the finances, the material life are ruling you at the moment, and the burnout that's either on the horizon or already happening as a result of that. If you are able to kind of self-actualize into a more restful state here, okay, finding rest. For some of you, it isn't as simple as just stopping work. It's not as simple as just shutting everything down, but you need to find space for peaceful regeneration is what this is. You need to regenerate, Scorpio, and you have to shed. You have to shed the skin like a snake. You've got to go in. You've got to do the death and rebirth process, and it has to happen now. So if you can do this energy here, this Four of Swords, you will find an opening up. Okay, and opening up new doorways, new ways to add to what you already have in terms of the King of Pentacles, new ways to support yourself, new ways to be creative in terms of your finances. But you have to regenerate. It's really non-negotiable. You really do need to do this. Because like I said, you do have the sun setting, and when the sun rises, it is actually about breaking free of this devil energy here. Now, this came up for Capricorn, and it's a little, this energy is like the taskmaster, okay? This would be really the concept idea of slavery here with the devil in your reading. It would be working, maybe not for enough remuneration, not being paid at all, not getting the not right harvest or the right results out of your effort. Okay, this is like being a slave to the system. So for some of you, you know, I was having this conversation with a friend, and I found it really helpful. I love talking to my close friends so that I can really kind of refine concepts and ideas. And we were talking about this idea that having a 9 to 5 is wrong, that people often circulate, okay? Like, you know, work for yourself, be an entrepreneur. If you're working for someone else's dream, you're not winning, or whatever it is we often say. And the truth is that that's not true. Like, we can't all be managers. Do you know what I mean? Like, managers need someone to manage. If I'm running my own business and I need to grow and expand, I need people to work under me. So not everybody needs to be an entrepreneur. Like, you may have gifts that are about support, gifts that are about administration, gifts that are like creative in a certain space, okay? You may even be a photographer, for example, and that work is needed in a certain space, a certain skill set. But if you are, you know, focusing so much on like running your own business, and you don't have the energy to give to a business that you can have a really good skills exchange, right? That is really meaningful and work that lets you flourish, and also takes this really productive business to the next level, you know, something that like our culture and society needs. So this is actually about getting out of the repression or the restrictions of the 9 to 5. Now, this doesn't mean, this applies to those of you who are self-employed. I'm going to make it make sense. Because it's not wrong to have a job. What becomes difficult is the ways that your freedom is stripped from you, okay? So working in environments that don't respect your emotional, your mental health needs, that don't support family and ways to work that support family life, working in spaces that don't see your gifts and that are unflexible with you, you know? So it's really about the system that you're working in rather than working itself. And so when this sun rises again, okay, opportunity, success, growth, expansion for you, Scorpio, it's important that you become liberated from systems that don't work. Now, that's why I said it's important for those of you who are self-employed, because you may be imposing systems on yourself that you've learned from this culture that aren't working for your soul and for the soul of your business. Okay, so it's really important that at this time, you recognize what is no longer sustainable because it related to the previous cycle in terms of how you were working with the King of Pentacles here, that you give yourself a rest and a break with this Four of Swords energy in order to regenerate and be ready for new opportunities that are coming through, so that you can work in a new way that is full of life and vitality, and that seeds new things, because this is actually the energy of creation, creativity. Of course, the sun feels most of our existence, and this child here is born, right, the fruits of two people coming together. So it's about creating in a way that sees new things, that continues to spawn abundance for you. Now, I feel like some of this may be pulling you away from family life. Interestingly, Four of Wands in reverse here. Some of you maybe have been propped up by family, I feel. You know, like relying on your spouse or your partner or a family member or a friend to be your strength, okay? So whether they're helping you financially, emotionally, whatever it is, this does have a little bit of dependency here. And I feel like it's actually about you breaking free of your comfort zone as it pertains to home and family life. And having the strength really to go out on your own. It's funny because this is Leo energy. Leo is ruled by the sun, so you're getting a lot of the same looped energy all around. So you're going into the dark space in order to be reborn into the sun, to come back into the light, Scorpio. But it may require you to let go of some of your dependencies, to not want so much or wait so much for someone to rescue you, to not rely so much on the support and aid of others. Not that it's wrong for people to help you, but that you need to cultivate the ability to stand on your own. But that might actually seem like a conflict in energy, since I've said that you've been in King of Pentacles where you've been working really hard. So it's not that you've been lazy. Let's clarify this message a little bit. because you haven't been lazy. I'm not saying you haven't been working. You have been pulling your weight, but I feel like there is some sort of like dependency or comfort zone that you need to break free of. Four of Cups. King of Cups. Okay, in reverse. Some of you are depressed. And it's finding the strength to break free of the emotional pattern. Now, I want to be careful here, okay, because depression is not just something that you need to just think your way out of, or that you can just muster up your strength and your energy to get out of. That's not what I'm saying. But this kind of strength here can actually be about asking for help. Okay, so not relying on this, I've always felt this way, I will always feel this way, I will always be sad, it will always have this outcome, or even seeing that as your baseline, right? So just being like, okay, yeah, I don't feel very good, but that's just normal. It's about having the strength to reach for something else and to ask for the help and support you need. So that might be talking to friends, it might be getting therapy, it might be putting different things in place. Often when I'm depressed, what I'm needing is more pleasure. So it may be bringing in, getting out of that, the stress and the work, and giving your soul some pleasure as a regenerative form. So for some of you, it's about your concurrent ongoing sadness that needs addressing, and finding the strength to ask for help or to bring in new skills to deal with this. For others of you, the comfort zone has actually been the King of Cups in reverse here. So this is about relying on others but not really giving back to them emotionally, okay? So this is, you know, taking, a lot of you, this can be in the relationship energy. So you're taking a lot of love support from the family, from the partner, it might be resource, it could even be sex, you know, like just relying a lot and not necessarily giving very much back. Now, I'll be honest, this can be because, Scorpio, with the King of Pentacles here, you've been exhausted, right? You've been working so much. So how can you give? Like, you can't, you feel too tired, but it's still an issue. Even if that's the truth, even if that's the reality of it, it still needs a balancing and addressing. So you also need the strength to get out of this comfort zone of really just receiving or being in relationships that aren't reciprocal and equal in terms of the what you both give to it, what you're both getting from it. Okay, so there's a need to break free in some way. Okay, now the Lovers card is here in reverse with the Ace of Brooms in reverse. I feel some of you feel like you don't have the energy to start this new path. You don't have the energy to go towards your purpose. It could be creative, it could be a business, it could be a home, anything. I'm really feeling quite drawn to the red wings for some reason. They're really prominent. And I feel like you don't have necessarily the strength to fly the next stage. You don't have the strength to go the next point in your path. And that's why the Ace of Brooms is here, because it's very similar to the Sun in reverse. It's a source. Now the Sun might be solar plexus energy. The Ace of Brooms is more sacral chakra. So this is speaking to not having enough pleasure, not having enough sex even. Do you know what I mean? Like not having enough energy there in order to support the elevation of your life. I want to go a bit deeper on this message. I was deep in thought there, you know, I apologise. Like my mind went somewhere else entirely. I forgot I was recording and shuffling. Okay. Ace of Brooms in reverse. This is a sacral chakra connection. Three of Swords. Okay. Well, we know why. What's the way out, Spirit? Hey! The Devil and the Tower. Ay, 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 Scorpio. Now we got the Queen to the King of Pentacles. And we got the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. You have to make a change. Alright, I'm going to leave the cards on the table and just talk about them. So this issue with the sacral chakra, part of the reason that you are out of energy is because you've experienced some kind of heartache, heartbreak, separation, It can be just a lack of connection. It feels like the heart itself is restricted. There's some sadness and grief energy in here. You may have been in relationships that didn't work in the past. You might be very let down. This Three of Swords energy might not even be about a relationship at all. You may be heartbroken by other things. Your parents, maybe, your children, for example, family, siblings. There is wounding in the heart that has actually closed you up a little bit. And it's blocking the receiving of energy here. And it's so interesting because this would be the receptive energy, this would be receptive magnetic, and this would be external electric energy here with the King of Pentacles, masculine, feminine. And I feel like in terms of the sexual exchange we're discussing here, you are needing the receiving energy, not the giving energy, but you've been blocked by this Three of Swords, you've been blocked by this devil energy, maybe feeling like close relationships are forms of bondage and attachment for you that aren't healthy. There's a struggle here for sure, but you're needing to receive, but on the basis of a lot of self-worth. You know, this is not the King of Pentacles and the Page of Pentacles, okay? It's not a lopsided relationship here. This is someone who has a lot to give, a lot of worth within themselves, receiving from the King of Pentacles. But you've been the King of Pentacles, so you're quite burnt out. The Queen of Pentacles is about you now receiving love, care, support, and affection based on what you're really needing. So this may be really two different messages based on the message that we just had around. Some of you Scorpios are receiving, not giving. Some of you are really burnt out energetically. You need to receive in a different way. Those of you who are taking, because I feel like what's happening is that you're taking in comfortable relationships that aren't really for you. So it's like, you know, like living with someone because, you know, they help you pay the rent and they cook dinner. Like, it's not for your soul, but it works on a practical level. But there's a need for you to receive deep soul connection, nurturing, and emotional, like, love, profound love. And that's why when you feel that, you'll give. These two people give to each other easily. But the reason some of you have not been given adequately is because you've not been with your equal match. Now, the Tower card is about really changing that circumstances, like bringing a big shift to that dynamic. And you can't just wait for it to happen. There is some action required for you to change because you're really losing your energetic and creative source here, Scorpio. Now, Justice card, it's upright, sorry. Justice card with the Four of Pentacles reversed, okay? You may need to let go of something in order to bring things into alignment and a better balance, especially in terms of your personal relationships. What are you clinging to, Scorpio? Knight of Pentacles. So it's what I said. You are keeping people in your life, keeping certain relationships around, circumstances around, even jobs, creative projects around because they seem practical to you, because they have a purpose to you that serves a practical lesson. But you need to release them. Some of these things you've outgrown. Two of Wands, they're blocking you from moving forward. Very similar to what I said to Capricorn in terms of having more options here. This is weighing your scale down in the wrong way. So you need to let go of these relationships or jobs or creative projects that are just about what is practical, that are just about, well, you know, it helps ends meet or whatever. You need to open that up because then it gives space for more options, a broader path for you to choose from. That one gives you strength because it's a Wands card, fire energy here, but that also is in alignment with you. And what do you get next? You get the Wheel of Fortune with the Three of Pentacles. So it's talking about the doors, the cycles opening up, new opportunities. And then rather than just working on your own, pushing on your own, King of Pentacles, Three of Pentacles about collaborations, relationships that really grow and add to you. You have here the King of Machetes and the Seven of Swords. Seven of Cups. It's interesting because King of Machetes is about clear judgment, you know, clear vision for the future, especially understanding here. But Seven of Cups is talking about confusion around your choices, and the confusion is not the logic of the choice, it's how you feel about the choices that you have or don't have. This can be feeling like you don't have enough choices. Let's see what Spirit is saying about this. World card in reverse, 10 of Wands in reverse. So if you're feeling like you don't have enough choices, it's really because you don't have space for any new choices. You need to let something go. If you know your choices, but you're having difficulty choosing between them, it's because the lens that you're looking through is work, burden, and effort. You know, you don't really want to choose anything new because you're afraid of being exhausted by more. So there is a need to change the life entirely in order for these to make sense. Let me just pull some last cards on how you can change or what changes you can make. How can you change? What changes can you make, Scorpio? Six of Cups in reverse is exactly what I said. Stop connecting with people that are not your people. Stop spending time and energy on relationships and situations that you know don't vibe with you on a deep level. Chariot card, move forward. You need to move on. That's the choice. Last card, the Death card in reverse. Release the cycle. Actually, 2 cards, Queen of Cups. There is better loving connections for you. So release this cycle. You're resisting the slowing down, right? The restorative rest period that you need. This is actually your card. So this is beautiful to end on. Okay, Scorpio, I hope this really resonated with you. Thank you so much for using your resources to support and feed back into me as I do this work for you. Of course, if you want to come to AstroMixer, it's nicoleblack.com/shop. Sending you so much love.